That's morphing. Morphing means the style, the look may change. And unpredictable. Oh, that's the beauty of the language process. You cannot predict. You will never know which surprising things comes next. Okay, let's look at it. It takes time to form this new pattern in our brain. It takes time, but how long? Some students who are too rushed, don't have a patience, want to have an instant performance. They never takes time. Research shows that if you have a 6 months listening, you start to speak automatically. That's from the research. 6 months. Okay, so 6 months is how long? It's about 2 semesters class. But every day you got to have a lot of input. After 6 months, adult will automatically speak something naturally. That's from the research. If you not do it faithfully, maybe for 10 years, you will never achieve that kind of fluency. Some other people may achieve within 6 months. But you can look at ourselves. Study language for more than 10 years, right? On and off, on and off, on and off, but never achieve the fluency. So how do you define this time? I don't want to divide the time by the time length, but instead the Kaizen way. How do you spend the time every day? Continuously, this time period is more important than the random discrete time that you take. Okay? This process is non-linear, nor is it a step-by-step process. It is random and unpredictable. Therefore, it is pointless to test students on what has been taught. As more and more new patterns are laid onto our brains, the language gradually becomes clearer and clearer. Some new words and patterns resist our effort to learn them until suddenly they just click in. This is interesting. Words have difficult, some are easy. Some words, when you listen to it one time, you just learn it. And some words that takes 7, some words take 20 times. I have this kind of experience. I have the habit of listening to the podcast, and if it's so interesting, I will put it into my audio library collection. Maybe not tomorrow to re-listen to it again, but maybe next month, maybe next year, I got a chance to revisit. So, this kind of revisit, each time I gain it a lot, but I still forget it. But some of them, I really pick it up, and I believe that I have learned it forever. I will never forget it. But still, some of them still in a kind of process, remembering and forgetting, remember and forgetting, just go back and forth. I don't know how many times I have to go through so that I can get it permanently. I don't know. This is a mystery. It's a secret of our brain. Even the native language, some of our native language, we will forget it, right? So I really don't know the detail of the secret of our brain, but that's true. If you take time and use the Kaizen way, you enjoy the process, gradually you will find like clearer. How do you strengthen this feeling, we have a good approach. It's called narrow reading, narrow listening. If you love Magic Tree House, read all the book by the same author. Mary what's the author's name? Magic Tree House is by Mary Osborne. Okay. If you love Goosebumps series, read all the books by the R.L. Stein. So you will speed up this process because the same author, they use the language more similar like. Okay, just like you listen to me, you will find a teacher talk in the same way. Everybody use the language have a similar pattern. Okay, I'm not an actor. This time I speak like this way, not that time I speak that way. No, every time, every author, every speaker, they tend to use a similar way. So you can take advantage of this truth, okay, to help you learn a lot. But the most important is find the book that you love. You can get pleasure from it. Okay? Number 3. Meaning is easier to learn than grammar. Meaning. If you understand this, you can understand why I want you to enjoy the reading. Because if we study the grammar based on the text, maybe you learn grammar, you know the rule. But that's not easier to learn and easy to forget. We associate the knowledge with meaning, not by rules. Maybe 10 years later, you will still remember the wonderful book you have read that has touched you, right? But can you remember the grammar in the book? Never. You may remember some of the strong words, maybe by some characters. But will you learn some grammar from reading? Definitely. Research shows if you read a lot, you naturally have a strong vocabulary. Your grammar cannot be worse. You will have a very good grammar. And you will write better. And then you will speak better because you have a strong vocabulary. Your pronunciation may not be better if you are not listening a lot. But you can understand other people's talking to you better because you have a strong vocabulary already. Okay, so they are very different aspects of a language. Okay, so we use the approach of meaning. Okay, let's go to talk about it. Words, phrases, and meaning are easier to learn than grammar. The reason is that new words and phrases can be associated with concepts that we have already know. Often, grammatical rules in the new language are different from the patterns that we're using in our first language. Okay? Do you agree with this? The language that we are learning are different, very, very different from the language that we are using as a first language. 你觉得英文文法跟中文文法差得怎么样？不会回答。我们中文有文法吗？不会回答，对。啊，你如果仔细想一想，very, very different, right? 想这个问题对你的英文有帮助哦。想这个问题。你如何教别人中文？用文法教学。想到最后想破头，你就会知道，你不要再学英文文法了，因为你自己都不会用文法教学教别人。知道在讲什么吗？你会发现有很多东西你没有办法解释啦，就这么单纯啦，你自己都教不出来啦。那怎么办？你就叫你的学生多听啊。To experience, to associate the meaning, and they know.